Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone Rule Well. Peace and salutations to the elect. This is Brother Barak coming at you with a quick lesson. I pray is edifying and exhorting. All right, today is Wednesday, June 4th, year 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction of Babylon and Great and Esau, Edom. Okay, and just want to hit on two quick articles. This one just actually popped up just now, and it's another one I want to read over real quick. But just straight to the point, man. We're in a time of prophecy. It's a lot of things going on. Financially, with the wars, with the MOTB, AIs getting off the chain. So, amen. The Lord is moving. Prophecy is in full effect. Prophecy in motion. There will be no peace, man. The Lord is bringing forth His judgment. And call her law Yimlaw, Alahayinawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Water Water, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. For bringing forth this judgment. And Lord willing, man, we out of here soon. But this is an article, this app I use called Ground News, and it says Trump says Putin in phone call vowed Russian response to Ukraine airfield attack cast doubt on peace deal. So they've been so-called acting like they've been in talks about a peace deal, but there ain't gonna be no peace, man. Ezekiel the 38th chapter. Hey, we in that time. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. Excuse me. Ezekiel chapter 38. And let's see here. I want to get straight to the point. Yep, verse 4 is what I want. I'll start at 3, Ezekiel 38 and 3, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And who is God? The modern day land of Gog right now, Magog, from the land of Gog, right, is what Russia dwells at now, also known as the land of the Medes, right? And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sort of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So how's the Lord putting the hooks in his jaws? First and foremost, by putting an evil thought. It's also a verse down here that said he would have put a evil thought into his mind. Let's see, where's that at? Yep. Verse 10, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. You see? Well, a thought, to come forth with your army. Okay? In his allies, but it says it will pit back to verse 4. He would turn you back and put hooks into thy jaws, taking them back to the old USSR, what it was also known as the Soviet Union. But the Lord is letting these things play out in the physical realm as well, because what's going to draw them back is Ukraine still over there with the bullshit, and which the only reason why they're doing that is because they're being backed, man. Ukraine been done, they've been through, right? But they're being backed by the beast. Okay, NATO, that's all it is. They're an unofficial NATO member, man. Right? They've been, U.S. giving them weapons. Trump acting like he ain't been giving them shit. He's still giving them weapons. Don't forget, they signed that deal probably not even a month ago. The Ukraine and U.S. deal. You see? So it's a lot of things going on, man. Okay, and also Great Britain is backing them up, But like we already said, the beast. Okay, those NATO and EU countries, right? So while they continue to poking at them, right, the Lord is putting those hooks into the jaws of the Russians, and they will continue to march. Verse 5, it says, Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Okay? So the Lord is gearing these nations up, baby. It says, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee, right? Going into Turkey. Right? So yeah, man, these things are going down. Prophecy is in full effect. Let's get back here. It says on Wednesday, U.S. President Donald Trump spoke by phone for 75 minutes with Russian President Putin about Ukraine's recent drone attack on the airfields and other topics. The call followed Ukraine's weekend drone strike, which reportedly destroyed about 40 Russian military bombers deep in Russian territory. So they already pushing it hard out there. Is that Russia's about to respond. You know, hey, but that's the thing. You Russia don't got to respond immediately. The art of war. Hey, when they think you ain't go hit them, that's when you hit them. But ultimately, we know prophecy is going to be fulfilled. The Lord got the hooks into their jaws. What it says, during a phone call, Putin strongly vowed to respond to the attack and discussed his potential participation in negotiations regarding Iran's nuclear program, while showing no readiness to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky. And a lot of this news too, you got to filter through it, man, because a lot of this, is smoke and mirrors, is BS. That's why everything, whatever's on the news, and we filter it through the scriptures. If it lined up with the scriptures, then we can bring it out. Trump shared on social media that while the discussion was productive, it was unlikely to result in immediate peace, and he highlighted the pressing need for Iran to make a swift decision regarding its nuclear program. Hey, but now let's get to that next article that I want to see right here. It says Iran supreme leaders criticize U.S. proposal in nuclear talks, but doesn't reject the idea of a deal. The top religious authority in Iran expressed criticism of an initial U.S. nuclear proposal during the ongoing negotiations in Dubai in 2025. Pretty much they trying to, it was another one that said they trying to limit, how much uranium they can enrich. You see? So right here, you see it says Iran Khamenei dismissed U.S. nuclear proposal, vows to keep enriching uranium. And I looked it up earlier. Uranium is mostly used for what Google gave me. It's mostly used for munitions, man, military munition. Okay, that's all they're really using it for is war. And this goes back to the ancient time where you didn't allow certain your enemies, to have weapons. It's a precept, man. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Where we at? Let me see. They spoke about the Philistines. Let me see. How did it go? They didn't allow Israel to have any spears or something like that. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up over here on my phone and I'll put it on the screen. Okay, so I got 1 Samuel. There's nothing new under the sun. Because while you want to have the dominance, you want to be the world power. So what you do, you make sure you got all the weapons and make sure they have none. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 19, it says, "Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man his share and his coulter and his axe and his mattock. Yet they had a file for the mattocks and for the coulters and for the forks and for the axes and to sharpen the goads. So it came to pass in the day of battle that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any other people that were with Saul and Jonathan, but with Saul and Jonathan his son was there found." So pretty much, let me see what's the next. "And the garrison of the Philistines went out the passage of Michmash." Yeah, so pretty much, the Philistines, they was more dominant. They was a more dominant nation at that time. You see? So they didn't allow our people to have, we couldn't even have blacksmiths, and we know that the blacksmiths are the ones that create the weapons. So anytime we needed to sharpen something or do something, we had to go to them to get it done. So that's pretty much the same thing that you see the U.S. doing, with these other nations when they trying to keep them from enriching uranium, because it's all about a nuclear arms race right now. You see? That's why Russia is such a problem right now. Russia, China, all the nations that have nuclear capability is a problem. You see? So yeah, man, pretty much they criticizing, the U.S. deal, because the U.S. trying to limit how much uranium they can enrich. Really, they don't want them to have any, but it's just prophecy. So that's the whole point of this lesson. There will be no peace. Let's go to Proverbs 21. And 1, it says, "The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." You see? So that's why nobody is accepting peace deals. You know? It might be a small so-called ceasefire, and they even breaking ceasefires. You know, look what those small hats over there doing over there in the Gaza Strip to the Palestinians, man. You see? So man, hey, the Lord is moving. It's marvelous, and it's all for prophecy. Let's go to Zephaniah 3. What is that at? Is it 3 and 8? Yep, Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. See, this is all the determination of the Lord. This is his judgment. When you go into the word determination, I believe it goes into Shabbat. So like, yeah, let's see. Mashapat. There we go. Judgment, justice, ordinances. Right? So this is the mindset of the Lord, to gather these nations. That's why there's no peace. Right? The Lord is controlling the minds of these different leaders to reject these peace deals. Right? To come up against it, because his prophecy has to be fulfilled. What it says, all ye that bend the bow. Let's grab that real quick. Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 and 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. Babylon the Great, which is America. All ye that bend the bow, all ye that possess these missiles, right? Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord Yahweh. So we know the least of the flock is going to draw America out, and ultimately America, Babylon the Great, that's right, America will be consumed with fire. Okay, Babylon, this is what the lake of fire is going to be at. Okay, Jeremiah 50 and 29. Call together the archers against Babylon. You see, so gather the armies, wake up the mighty man. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she have been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. Hey man, see, the Lord got America in a trick bag. And it don't even look like America's, like if you looking at the mainstream news, and even that some of these alternative news media, they just trying to make it seem like America ain't really involved. There's not really America's problem. You know, this is just stuff over there on the Far East world, you know, the Middle East, the Far East or whatever. But nah, this is all the plan of the Lord to ultimately, you know, gather these nations over there in the Middle East, as we read in Zephaniah just now, verse 8, 3 and 8, right? But also to rain fire on Babylon the Great. So, you know, just a quick hit. Hey, the Lord is out here doing this thing, brothers. You know, stay tuned and stay prayed up. Hey, man, we almost out of here. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor star apostles and elders had great men don't rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.